I think both of these players go for the same route.
You do have a Rockman against the Mega Man here.
That's true.
Minor thing, but
Always that.
we'll see if that
West
hurts
versus
Jveth.
East showdown.
Ooh.
And Jveth is off at least. Triwave. We're still trying to sync him up.
Into Magnet.
Nice. So it's a dual magnet run. That's gonna be a lot easier to keep track of.
Magnet first.
The objectively inferior route, obviously.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm sure you agree.
No, I mean, Chelny has said it a lot. Magnet first as a race route is pretty good as a choice. You do get the RNG of the Magnet Man fight itself, but after that, it's actually a lot easier to execute on a lot of things. And if it only saves 4 seconds overall for a race, and we've all seen races that end in a tie or a 1 second win, but it's not that common.
This is true. That's also a good argument for not going for a lot of the really, really risky moves that might save you a second or two and lose multitudes of seconds.
Well, a route choice that loses only a few seconds is one thing. Not going for all of the tricks, though. I mean, eventually, all of those tricks you didn't go for start adding up into half minutes and minutes, and you don't want that to happen either.
That's absolutely true. There's a lot of strategical weighing you have to do as you go. And speaking of tricks, I watched Jveth run yesterday, and he just went for everything. That man is fearless.
Nice. I like it when you get a fearless runner in a tournament race.
It's gonna be really interesting to see if he goes for the one block slides. Oh, and takes a death on Magnet. That's unfortunate.
I was gonna say, even though he's making his way through the stage, he's holding his own, but Triwave, even before that death, already had a screen on him.
Yeah.
Triwave now in that Magnet fight.
Not that many screens, but having to wait for the Yoku blocks, that's a killer.
Very true. Triwave's already done, looks like about a 2-minute even kill of Magnet Man. He's going to be out of here. Jveth not even in the Magnet fight yet.
Speaking of that Magnet fight, since you're a Magnet first runner, I believe, health management is a huge deal on this map, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I believe the number I've heard from the other commentators that actually pay attention to these things, Magnet Man, if you get pulled into him, it does 6 hit points of damage. And obviously, whenever he's pulling you in, you want to take that hit as fast as you can if you have the health to do it, just so you can speed up the fight a little more, get him out of that invulnerable phase. Jveth, all right, there we go.
There we go.
So he's going to be about 48 seconds behind. Let's just call it there for now. Triwave, though, has used the magnets on the bees. It's not that hard. It can be a little tricky to note the pattern, but once you pick it up, killing those bees, the first 2 bees is pretty easy. That last bee with Rush Coil, though, that kill is always a little impressive.
Yeah, that takes both good timing and good mashing all at once.
Yep. There is a method to the madness, but obviously you never want the bees.
Definitely don't want the bees. And Hardman stage is a pretty safe stage, all things considered. There's not much that it can one-shot you, but it's also a long stage where a lot of tiny movements, mistakes can really add up to lost time.
I think I saw a weird sparkle on Jveth's screen for a moment there, but he did not go to kill the bees, he just despawned them, which isn't that bad of a decision. Definitely faster than not killing the bees and then dealing with the aftermath.
Indeed. This is also one of those stages where health management is a factor, because you want to have enough health to take 2 body hits off Hardman to get a quicker kill here.
Indeed, and Triwave doesn't go for the health. Don't know if he doesn't know what his lead is or if he just has the confidence to go for this. That health is very questionable. Of course. Oh my goodness.
Playing it a little close there.
3 hit points left. He couldn't take any more hits.
No. And you kind of bring up a good point there about race strategy. When you're in a race like this, do you keep tabs on your opponent's stream or where they are to adjust your play?
Oh, definitely. I don't see how you couldn't. I know a lot of people don't, and sometimes it's worth it to just put your head down and put forward the best run you can and not care what your opponent does. But you don't want to be there kind of smacking yourself when you didn't go to grab like this large health drop that Jveth is about to go past at the end of the stage. He's probably actually going to collect it. Trying to save, 2 or 3 seconds when, you had a 50-second lead. You can basically spend some of your lead on getting health, getting a safer strat in. The only counterpoint to that is you don't want to play so safe that you've changed your strats to the point of you're just feeling uncomfortable executing them.
Yeah, that's also a good point. A lot of safe strat adjustments might end up killing you because you're not as used to doing them, whereas the more riskier strat that you're comfortable with might actually be a lot safer for you.
The safest strat is the one you know the best.
Mr. Cat 2017.
Triwave with a nice cat kill. There is a question here in chat about what the common routes of this game are. And we're talking about Magnet first a lot here. I don't know if you want to talk more to the other routes.
Well, top first is the quote-unquote optimal route, but there's very, very few differences. Both routes are entirely viable, all the way down into the mid 43s, 34s to be honest. It's a lot more of a masher's route. You need to be able to take down the cats into... Oh, Triwave! Speaking of going for 1 second saves.
Yeah.
That cost him a lot.
About 40 seconds for not making that jump, trying to save maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. It's 1 second versus potential 40-second loss. And just like that, they're pretty even.
Triwave actually still has a pretty decent lead. It's not nearly as significantly as it was even a minute ago, but only now is Jveth arriving at the checkpoint, so only now is it a problem if Triwave dies again here.
And he goes for it again! No!
Speaking of dying again here. No, why? I don't think he's collected any 1-up, so he might be on his last life here as well. Jveth out in front. Going for a 1-tile slide. I don't know why.
Oh, well.
Frames.
There we have it. Jveth is staying true to form, going for everything. Is he gonna go for dangerous jump?
Oh my goodness.
We need heart rate monitors on these guys right now.
You're right.
No, he plays it safe. Maybe he's listening to the stream, knowing that he's a little bit ahead.
On attempt 3 here. Oh, he went for it again, but I don't know if it's fortunate or not that he landed on that top.
All or nothing, he says in chat, so I guess.
Triwave, I think, realized he was in a bad situation and made sure to get into basically melee range with Top Man to plant the last hard knuckle in his face. Oh, I love the fighting spirit of these two runners.
Yeah, they're both absolutely going for it. Love it. This is gonna be a great race, I think.
All back and forth here.
So you saw a couple of the fallouts of playing Magnet first. These guys could just rip through top stage with lots of sub-weapons, where you have to mash a lot with the top first route. Beyond that, on the route question, there is also Gemini first, which is kind of a legacy route, but it's still completely viable. It will improve your execution a lot faster when you first start playing this game, if you go for that one.
Triwave did just collect a 1-up, it's worth pointing that out.
Good.
You're definitely right, though, about going Gemini first, improving execution. Really, in general, if you go Buster only, which, whatever Robot Master you do first, you're kind of doing that stage Buster only by default, you do have to kind of pick up a little more of what some enemy patterns are, since you don't have any options for how to take them out. And Gemini Man's pattern specifically, once you know it, it's actually not that bad, and learning the Buster fight properly will teach it to you. And the same rules that apply to the Buster fight apply to every other edition of that fight, be it Shadow Blades, Search Snakes, or Gemini Laser. And here's the big advantage of Magnet first. Parachute section becomes pretty trivial as long as you don't run into a drop on the edge of the platform.
Yeah, Yeah.
As Conster is prompting me to say, this is a case where fortune does not favor the bold necessarily. You might be very well served to use magnets there instead of the top spin.
Yeah, even if you're a top first runner, I would not do the regular top first strat on those parachutes in a race, because it's really, really easy to die.
Yeah, and they are really close right now, within a second, I think, on these top kills.
Yeah.
Still very early in the race, but it's good to see we have a race. Especially with the first 3 stages, we saw vastly different times. Basically seeing identical Shadow Man times. That's great.
And we don't have many games of Jveth on record yet. He only played the one race where he finished with a 46.02. So it's hard to predict what kind of times he might have in his pocket there.
That's true. I haven't completely checked the Mega Man leaderboard for these 2 runners. I don't know what their PBs are outside of their previous tournament times.
That said, though, we're coming up to a decisive point here, because in Jveth's last race, he did take 2 deaths on the Gemini water section whilst doing 1-block slides both times like a boss.
Jveth, I believe, picked up the so-called Mega Man 5 reference, a 1-up in the first screen of Gemini. Triwave, actually now Jveth as well, getting the skip, so that's good.
Yeah, missing that skip can be devastating. That's like 10-12 second loss right off the bat, and it can so easily tilt you as well, missing it.
Oh yeah, it's 10 seconds just for sitting there and watching the cutscene, and then the music comes back, which causes lag in the game. I believe everyone's favorite statement is the true enemy of this game is lag.
Mm-hmm. Lag and ladders. And one of the worst parts of getting that music lag is it makes this water section really horrible to play if you haven't played it that much with the music on.
So here we go. They're both going top route.
Oh.
Well, it's a poor choice of words for this game, but I'm going to stick by it. Jveth
picking up the E-tank.
He went down into the water to get it. The little-known strat, which I guess saves a little bit of time, is using Rush Coil to go off the top of the screen. You can get it with the screen wrap technique. Jveth
saw a couple of 1-block slides from Jveth, but he made some adjustments after yesterday and cut a lot of them out. I like the thinking on her feet.
I wonder if he just sees that it's a close race and knows better than to think that fortune favors the bold. So the trick to this fight is during the first phase, every time you push the B button, Gemini Man shoots. The second phase, every time you push the B button, Gemini Man jumps as long as he's on the ground. There's a brief moment when he lands when he does not shoot, or does not jump again, so you have a moment to fire your second Shadow Blade. So it's a pretty well-executed fight by both players. Anything that doesn't result in using an E-tank, I feel like, is a good fight.
Absolutely, and the one difference is Jveth did pick up that extra E-tank, so he has a little bit of leeway to run with.
Yep, he's a few seconds behind now, but he does have a little more insurance as well.
Yeah, I think we're down to maybe a 10-second difference between these 2 players right now. This is really close.
Well, they were pretty even coming out of top and shadow. That 10 seconds... Well, that E-tank doesn't take 10 seconds to collect, but certainly that's part of it. Another difference between the 2 routes, typically you'll see Magnet First runners break out the Magnet missiles on the screen. Jveth, though, sticking to Buster. Magnet First, pretty much the only route that will have magnets here. So, any other route you're used to, you have to know this Buster section anyway.
A Buster isn't that much slower. I think it's about a second difference.
Yeah. What has me sold on using using magnets there is this screen where Triwave now is using Gemini laser on the Joes. He could be using magnets.
Very good point right there. Killing those Joes with the Gemini laser is very technical.
It's a little technical, and you're using the weapon you need for Needleman. I think it uses 2 points of ammo per shot, which means you only have 14 of them. So any miss, any extra shot you have to fire around, that's one less chance you have to hit Needleman if things go wrong. which
See
they
if
did
Madua is
not.
going to be the tiebreaker here.
Ooh, got the bank shot.
Oh, nice.
Well done by both of them. So a 1444 beam out for Triwave, I think.
Sounds about right. So
Jveth
yeah,
must
looks
be
like 10
getting out of tier
seconds.
55 maybe.
57.
So it was still on 6, so
Yeah.
about 12 seconds.
Speaking of Needleman, that's also sort of a legitimate route. It's not run by that many people. It's not as optimal, but it's definitely, you can get really low times doing needle first if you apply yourself to it.
Yeah, Needle first gets you Rush Jet right away, which opens up some strats. Also, I think the only route you will kill Gemini Man with Search Snakes, which is kind of interesting in its own right.
Yeah. It's not the route doesn't have any actual advantages over the other routes in any way, beyond the fact that it's pretty cool to say you're doing it first.
The only advantage you do get actually is having Snakes for Gemini Man. You have his true weakness.
Yeah.
But it's really not worth it. You would also have Rush Jet for Gemini Man stage in the blocks as well, but not a huge advantage over Rush Marine if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and the Rush Marine strat is one of those that we will say is a safe strat, but it's so not a safe strat if you haven't practiced it.
Yeah, Rush Marine runs out of ammo pretty quick, unlike Rush Jet, which we're seeing here. Rush Marine, you do have to pick up you generally have to pick up at least one of the drops in Gemini Man stage. Kind of have it worked out how to do it without that, but it involves some block sliding, which you might not want to do. Rush Jet here on this last screen, you get to see it especially from Triwave. Every time you jump off of Rush, and keep jumping Triwave, don't prove me wrong, it only drains ammo while you're standing on Rush. So especially when you have very little ammo left, like Triwave did, all you have to do is keep jumping off Rush. And as the added bonus, when Mega Man's off the screen, his sprite's not there, the game actually lags less. Once again, battling the true enemy. Triwave?
Triwave gets the best possible snake pattern right there.
Gets the best pattern. He's making me clench with that health total a little bit, though.
Oh, am I ahead of you? Do I need to be careful about spoilers here?
Oh, you're not that far ahead of me. You started talking when he was down.
Okay, I refreshed the stream, so maybe you need to.
Jveth also with a pretty quick fight. He's not centered, but I still would favor getting the kill over being perfectly centered if it came down to it.
Yeah, better lose a couple of seconds and stay alive.
Yeah. You generally lose more time kind of waiting for the good opportunity to be centered than you do just finishing the stage.
That's very true. Triwave heading into the quote-unquote free stage of these 8 robots.
Gets through that first screen past the first kind of electrode barrier very nicely. That's a tight slide jump to get through there without taking any damage. And then those enemies on that screen that Jveth is now dealing with, if they get their sparks off, that's just a lot of lag. From there, Triwave making use of magnet missiles. There's really, I think, the big time save that makes it worth pausing the game in the first place is killing that first Joe that Jveth just passed a moment ago. But it does then kill the kind of crawling enemies faster. It's going to kill this giant block, which when there's too many of them on the screen causes lag, kills that faster. So it's just nice.
Yeah. So Jveth did use 2 magnets to kill the dozer, so he's relying on a pickup here to have enough to kill the trash compactor blocks, and he doesn't get one.
It's not that bad to use Buster there, but it is an extra pause for him now.
Let's see what pattern Triwave get. Oh, he gets the easy pattern off of Sparkman.
Well done. So we didn't talk about with Triwave. This last screen I usually like to call out. This is kind of a classic case of Jveth's going and proving me wrong.
Dang.
I was going to say this is a classic case of the speed strat. Once you know it is a lot freer than trying to do it casually. Of course, if you jump into the sort of screw enemies that come together, it's all over. You do have to still avoid them. I'm curious to see if he's going to go with Rush Jet here.
Oh no!
Why?
Jveth, why?
Please have an extra life.
I think he might even have...
Richard's calling me out for the jinx here. This Triwave is going to dock Gemini first.
He might actually make the call here. Yep.
Yeah. 1-800 Rush Jet. So this is actually probably the second best strat for this room.
Yeah.
The speed strat normally, relatively free once you pick it up. You just need to make sure you don't jump into those screws. Just walk off the elevators and slide off of everything else that you don't have to jump off of.
Yeah, you're losing a couple of seconds of lag, but it's safe. Better in the red than dead.
Yeah, it's a little lag. It's a little bit of the rush on the pause animation and having to pause it one more time for an extra weapon swap. But how else are you going to do that room? Anything else you do involves pretty much waiting to kill the screws or to get them out of your way so you can jump. So, Rush Jet is there to help. Triwave, meanwhile, dealing with one of the hardest screens in the game. Again, the beginning of Gemini Man. And now is into Dock Flash. Hooray for the Dock robots, the Skull robots.
Very clean kill by Triwave.
That was exceptionally clean.
You kind of, if he's going for the slide across the spikes, you need a lot of health coming into this part because you're taking some damage boosts. He is going for it. No, he's not. My bad. He's just going for the higher, safer strat.
Nothing wrong with going up top. I think I was timing it out the other day. I think it's actually faster to ride Rush Jet through the water and kill the missile launchers than it is to go up top. Only by like 1 or 2 seconds. Like, it's not a big time save no matter what you do there. Just one of those little things.
Well, that's interesting to know. I always go through the water if I need to save strat there, but I had no good argument for doing so.
Well, I recently had a long plane ride and nothing better to do with a 3DS, so...
Excellent, excellent.
Shoutouts to the Virtual Console. Triwave
all the
in
times
this
we
bubble
bought the
fight.
same game. Oh,
Don't
Triwave.
get hit, Triwave.
4 health, that's the same amount of damage that a bubble deals there, so...
I thought a bubble did 3, but you might be right. Either way, he was directly underneath the Dock robot, so... And there you can see the critical difference between the J version and the US version. Jveth's Dock Flash standing around a lot more. Did try...
Ooh! Triwave.
Richard's gonna call me out for commentator curse again. Come on, Triwave, get it this time. He's inching over way too much. You're only supposed to do that once. It's over, just go. I don't know if he got it or not. If he got it, I'll be very impressed. But he's definitely kind of... When you're standing around that long for a trick that's only going to save a few seconds, you just wasted all the time you were going to save.
Yeah, it saves 2 seconds, the music despawning. Definitely put more than that into the setup.
Yeah. I mean, there comes a time, especially in like a race, you have to weigh how much are you saving by executing a trick versus how long you're taking to set it up and whether or not you should just go. Whoa! Well, he's through.
Yeah, this is another part where health is a vital resource. Definitely just for killing Woodman. If you take too many hits, you're screwed.
Chat is reporting he got it. Well done, Triwave. And good job, Jveth, taking out Doc Bubble.
Yeah, they look like they're an entire stage apart. I guess they're half a stage apart, but Shadow stage is a lot shorter than...
Yep. Triwave showing off just why you need to have a lot of health going to that fight. And Jveth is going to keep following the route here. He's not going for the music setup at all. He did jump there. Thank you for not jumping into the spikes.
If Triwave picks up 2 extra lives, those might come in handy. He should be nowhere near game over again now.
Triwave has gotten a couple of drops here, but is out of magnet now and doesn't really want to switch off of it for the last jump.
He's electing to E-tank here. His life was very low for the Heatman fights.
I think most of the Doc robots have 2 weaknesses. I don't know what... I think Heatman's secondary weakness is 4 damage from Shadow Blade.
It is.
Meaning it would take 7 hits. I don't know what Woodman's is. I know in Gemini Man, sparks do extra damage to Bubble Man. You just want to use Shadow Blade so you can aim them up.
Yeah.
And everything else is too far in the past for me at this point.
Yeah, I'm too ruined by speedrunning. I don't remember anything about this game anymore. And Jveth is doing an unorthodox strategy for Woodman.
He's really close to those falling leaves. He really knows how to dodge them. You do want to be on the rightmost part of the screen if you can, though, just so you've moved there while you couldn't go through the screen anyway, so you're already there. Triwave, though, into Doc Spark, making use of the Gemini laser. No problems with these screens.
Speaking of Gemini laser, Jveth used Gemini for the Hammer Joes, which allows him to have enough magnets to kill everything on the parachute screen.
Mm-hmm. I favor that strat as well.
You're sacrificing one menu, but you're guaranteed to get everything, which is always nice.
I think if you don't do that, like Triwave, you have a chance of running out of magnets.
Yeah. You're actually guaranteed to be 1 magnet short, unless you get a pickup along the way. Oh no!
Jveth. I was wondering if he had enough health to hit the Doc robot one more time. Well, we got our answer. He has all those E-tanks, you're right.
Speaking of which, Triwave has no E-tanks, and he's coming up on one of the potential run killers in this game, Doc Quick.
Well, like you said, he's gotten some extra lives recently.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in business, even though I don't think he's been despawning a lot of these electrodes. He's trying to get through without taking any more damage, gets caught by a drop, and can't get the jump off. Jveth, basically a full stage behind. He's going to try and trick him by going to the other stage first.
Yeah, and here we go. So Triwave really needs to get hit by the boomerangs here, because they do 2 damage, and Quickman does 8 damage if you body slam him. It's one boomerang, 2 boomerang. Oh no!
Bodied! Just couldn't find the boomerang to get hit by, couldn't turn around and actually finish off the doctor. Oh man. Doc Quick might be the worst enemy in this game.
It probably is, both casually and speedrunning. Jveth on Rush Jet signaling that he's probably gonna get the extra E-tank here. No!
He's just going through. Rush Jet takes a little bit longer than the coil. Certainly easier strat to execute at least, and doesn't waste that much time. Usually though, like Mr. Swede was saying, usually only do that if you're going to get that E-tank as well. Jveth into Doc Air, plenty of health.
Yeah, another one of those stages where health management is a factor.
You know, I always wondered watching runs why everybody mashes sparks into Doc Air, and then I started doing it myself. It was so much easier to kill him mashing those sparks than it was trying to time the shots.
I briefly, in a weak state of mind, thought I would try to time the shots on the iframes, but I gave that up pretty quickly.
Yeah, just don't do it. You said Triwave was out of E-tanks. You just fixed that problem. Did switch to both rush items, though, in the process.
Yeah. Also, unfortunately, he did so on his last dock stage, so at the point where he probably doesn't need the E-tank anymore.
It doesn't hurt to have it for the doctors here. He might need it against Doc Air. He might need it against Doc Crash. He might need it for the giant Mets. You never know.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's a mistake by me. You really want to have an E-tank right here, because he's too low to safely take on the Mets without accident.
Jveth waking up a lot of the little propeller Mets, taking a lot of damage. Jveth, speaking of a lot of damage, going right into the giant Met with abandon. So is Triwave going to use the E-Tank here? He's going to keep going. I think he's got a strat worked out for taking out these dragonflies.
Yeah, he's jumping from lower than what we usually see, so he might have worked out some new tech here.
Well, he's a little lower, so he's on the screen longer for more lag, but he also gets a better look at those dragonflies coming onto the screen. So that's going to help him out. So it looks like he used the E-Tank.
Yep. Fortunately didn't use it while he was in the air.
Yep. If you use it in the air, Rush goes away. Unfortunately, he didn't wait until he was already on the next screen or on the ladder, so he had to see Rush transform into the jet again in the menu. Little things like that.
Yeah, tiny
Not going to be a decider in this race, but little things that might affect your PB. Jveth working on this first jump in Spark.
Jveth saying in chat that he is 40 seconds ahead of his PB.
Nice! Keep it going. Be relentless. Let's try wave into the the escape, right? Oh no!
Oh no, Jveth!
Those little conveyor cogs can be troublesome.
Yeah, that last pit is one of those, as you said, speedrunner strats where once you know the right way to do it, quote unquote, it's pretty safe, but so easy to take deaths there.
So I see Fast in chat, so this is our opportunity to remind him that Triwave can split on Breakman at 31:15.
Why would he though? Because there's no such thing.
But there is. You know what else there is? IBN computing.
That I might be inclined to agree with.
At least we can agree on something in the booth.
Yeah.
Jveth, having already used many Gemini lasers, actually didn't have enough to take out the little missile launcher. Switched to magnets, and then really just to taunt him, it dropped a large weapon drop.
Karma drop right there.
I mean, come on, game. That's just not nice.
So let's see if Triwave goes for the slide across the spikes here. Oh, he picks up another E-Tank. He's not taking any more deaths.
He didn't have any, so picking that one up's not a terrible idea. A little bit of a spike slide there.
Yep, he got the backwards damage boost, which is what you need to get safely across that.
So Triwave trying to land on the platform there. Little case of trying to get the optimal drop caused a very suboptimal drop off the screen.
He's used up a lot of magnets, so I don't think he has enough for
I think he only used one extra, didn't he? Yeah, just destroyed that.
Right.
Yeah. So he should still have enough for the hard man. Jveth! Learn from Triwave's mistakes. No!
No! No!
Why?
Oh,
How many E-Tanks does he have? You have to use the E-Tanks.
I don't want to look how many. Oh, he has 2. Oh, wow.
That's more than 0. It's Triwave taking on Kamegoro, the turtle machine.
And no bad RNG in the world is gonna put him back as much as Jveth just got with that game over, unfortunately.
No RNG certainly, but he can still soft lock on Gemini, man.
That's true.
Please don't, but it's out there.
Yeah. Just we're not advocating it, but if you want a closer race.
Why?
So I'm curious as to how consistent Triwave is with Yellow Devil Quick Kill. I think he should be pretty consistent with it, given his excellent mashing skills.
Let's see, he's going through this stage. Not going for all the 2-tile slides, but a few of them. Jveth giving me one more opportunity to remind everybody that Metal Blade works on Magnet Man and Mega Man 2 Game Boy. Magnets work on Metal Man and Mega Man 3 NES. What's up with that?
Yeah, you just have a little bromance going right there.
I guess. It's super effective. Well, the moment you've all been waiting for. How easy is this devil?
Not as easy as you might have been led to believe.
This is, of course, the stage without a checkpoint, so if Triwave runs into some exceptional bad luck, he's back to the start. But this stage is actually pretty easy. Easy, devil!
Easy. He got a lot of hits off of that first jump.
That was really good.
Let's hope we don't see a repeat of that KLM situation right here.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it safe, jumps off the third bullet.
The KLM situation. Is that the official name if that happens now?
Oh, I blame Fasta if that's the new term.
Jveth this time is reaching for the E-Tank. Does actually get hit again. Oh, he's on the NES, the US version.
Yeah.
So he lost his iframes coming out of the pause. Still not a bad idea at that point, though, to just use the tank, make sure you get out of the stage. Unfortunately, his timer there just turned red briefly.
Yeah,
so,
it's so long until his next split as well, so...
Yeah, he's not a believer in the Breakman split.
Oh, Triwave! What are you doing?
Come on, Triwave. Oh my.
Oh dear.
He's on the bottom.
Oh, you
He's
really...
Oh!
That's a costly death. There is no checkpoint on this.
So if you
What
go
am I
back
saying?
and you watch that second beam in again, you'll see the bottom Mega Man has a little bit of the beam in animation like Mega Man, the player, does when he switches weapons. That's how you know where the clone is to actually hit. If you look at the top, you will see it on the first cycle.
For a brief moment there, I confused Wily 2 with Wily 3, thinking there was no checkpoint on this stage, which there obviously is.
Again, the shot's a little low. He's going for... When in doubt, just use Snake.
Yeah. Snake is pretty fast. There's not that huge of a time difference between going straight up Snake and going for the top abuse.
Yeah. I mean, you can also hit him directly with top spin. That works just as well.
Yeah.
The big trick is you usually just have to know which one he is. Snake, like you said though, and like you saw, very effective.
I think Triwave was theory crafting about a new refight route the other day. I don't know if that materialized to anything or if we're gonna see some fancy new stuff here, but it looks like he's going for the straight needle opener at least.
The bad news for Triwave here, although I guess it doesn't matter for him, he's not going to beat Mazimov's PB. That's not the match he's worried about, though.
Jveth going for Shadow Blades on Kamigoro, what a boss.
Yo.
Yeah, that's really tricky.
Triwave still navigating these refights.
Yep, coming up on the moment where the only point where this run can really become a race again. Not that we're hoping for it, but just saying, there is soft lock.
Can we, like, commentator uncurse? Although he takes an awful lot of damage from Hardman. Does escape the fight, though. Jveth manages to stay on that platform, not fall off. He's on the US version, so any pausing would have taken him out of it. Triwave. Thank you.
Safe. Good thing he got those extra E-Tac. And he's safe.
He fired that laser pretty quickly, but Gemini Man did not despawn. Although Triwave is a fan of Nadua.
Yeah, having a bit of a Nadua situation going there. But looking good on health. He's gonna wrap up these refights quickly, and let's see if Jveth has an easy. His position is a little odd.
Position's definitely a little off. Probably just doesn't fully understand the setup. I think he got a decent amount of damage in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's pretty sweet. He's going to get the 2-cycle pretty easily. Or at least
That's
he
an
better get it.
impressive amount of damage considering his position was so haphazard at the start. If he looks at the correct setup, he's gonna get that a lot more consistent.
So the real trick with the setup is you want to be in position so that when you get knocked backwards, you are still directly under the eye. By centering yourself under the eye, that's a lot harder to achieve. That's why you basically set yourself up so if you fire up, you'll hit the left edge of the eye. You get knocked to the left once, tap left to face left, so you get knocked back right. And then when you get knocked back right even a second time, you're still under the eye.
Precisely.
So triwave, lag snakes.
Nice and controlled.
Good.
Triwave mashing pretty consistently at a high level. I think he could probably even do the snake mashing on Gamma. I don't think he practices it or uses it, but I think he has the mashing ability to pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Jveth actually getting through Wily 3 pretty well here. Triwave up to the final boss. Jveth looking to try and make sure it is only a 3-stage victory.
There we go. Significantly smoother Wily 3 for Jveth.
Triwave doing a little menu hunting here. Looks like he's going to get it. And he does.
GG.
RaceBot reporting in a 41-17 for Triwave, who still needs to stop his splits, but hey, he got the dot done, and that's the important part.
That's not ahead of his best time in this tournament is a 40:59, I believe.
So Triwave will finish the group stage of the tournament 2-2 with that time you just mentioned.
Wow.
41-18, 41-12, 40-59.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40-59 it is. Jveth, you're scaring me with that snake fight. He is through, though.
So doesn't Triwave have one more game to play, or has someone dropped out of that group?
Triwave, it looks like is going to be 2-2 overall.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
Triwave's matches as Jveth makes his way through these refights. He's getting close to that risky Gemini fight himself. Triwave lost to Mazimov, defeated SC Hitch, lost to Mkank, who appears to be running away with this group if his first 2 times hold up, and of course just now defeated Jveth.
Being in a group with Mkan is gonna be that's rough, and he finished his first race like 5 seconds behind his PB. That's scary.
Yeah, it's scary not just because it's 5 seconds behind his PB, but that good of a PB.
Oh yeah.
That's a 35. That's almost guaranteed 2 minutes within 2 minutes of record. So look out.
Another player to keep your eyes open for in the brackets.
Mm-hmm. Jveth actually cleaning up these refights pretty well.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get a better time on this race than he's only recorded so far, which is a 46:04.
Yep. He does have to kind of push for that time at this point. He should get a high 45, but
yeah, obviously there's many ways Wily Machine have screwed up runs for all of us on one occasion or another.
So just a reminder, because we haven't really said it at all, Triwave and Jveth have been posting in chat every now and again. Don't forget to follow the runners, everybody. Without them, we would not have these great tournaments.
Yes.
So if you like what you see, pass it along. Triwave, putting his actual time over his splits.
So Jveth is looking at a mid 45 unless something goes horribly wrong on Gamma.
Yep.
I apologize, Richard, for that Coster's curse. We will overcome right now. Since he is on US version, he's not gonna do the topspin jump up into Gamma. He's gonna have to go for the coil, and he does. GG.
Well done. RaceBot calling in a 45-25, and like his fellow racer, not stopping the timer. It's alright, RaceBot has everything handled.
Yeah. There's a lot of nerves once you finally finish that race. The
If
last
you
thing
only
on your
hit
mind
one
is
of them, hit the dot done.
Yeah. Have it typed in and ready.
Pro tip, actually, when you're typing in dot done on Speedruns Live, put a space after it. That way, when you go and you slam your hand down on the send button and you hit a bunch of other keys on the side of it carelessly, that dot done space backslash curly bracket and everything else will still register. If it's connected to the dot done, it won't.
I can see how you would need that. You have the loudest splits of all the streamers I followed.
It's part of the stream. Either way, that's a win for Triwave to get to 2-2. Jveth going to go, I believe that's 0-2 for him right now.
Yep.
Jveth and SC Hitch still looking for their first win, still needing to play each other. MCAN, as you said, 2-0, looking to kind of clean up the rest of his dance card, see if he can solidify that second, well, really first place in the group if he sweeps.
Yeah, MCAN is gonna have to lose both of his remaining games to not advance. Obviously, anything can still happen, so...
Well, actually, I think it's already over. So let's go over this.
Let's see.
Triwave, I believe, has one of these losses against MCAN. So right there, we are going to have to say goodbye to Triwave, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Triwave
no matter what
is
happens.
done, unfortunately.
So 2-2, going 500, not bad at all. Not bad at all. And I think we determined earlier he's right around 41 on all of his times, which is not a bad time at all. You do want to kind of work on that, grind out the sub 40, but 41's a great start getting there. MCAN probably going to go 4-0, but isn't there yet. Jveth,
No.
I think, is the one who has a true chance at it. Hitch has not lost to MCAN yet. So technically, either one of them could advance over MCAN, but it seems unlikely.
Yeah, they would have to beat MCAN in a match, and then whoever... And they would have to get a really good time as well. I don't know which is the... Is it individual games that's the first tiebreaker?
If you have defeated everyone you're tied with, that's the first tiebreaker. If not, it goes to tournament PB. And so since they would basically nobody would have swept everybody else in the 2-2 tie, I think, it would go to PBs. At which point, Triwave, we already know, has a lower PB than MCAN. You would have to basically cut MCAN's tournament PB, and right now that's a 35.
Yeah, that's gonna
good
be
luck.
rough. Yeah.
No offense to the other two runners. Anything is possible. But they have their work cut out for them.
Oh, yes. And I don't think we have any more games tonight. There's one scheduled for tomorrow between Mega Man X 381 and M-Chan 338. Otherwise, so far it's a bit of a slow week so far, but there might be more games of Group L that's suddenly sprung into life earlier this evening.
Group L with its first match earlier tonight. Welcome aboard.
Yes.
And,
And I'm
looks
passing
like
out judgment as if I have actually played any games, so I should probably be quiet.
Whoa. Get to it, man. The rest of the speed gaming schedule, it does look like there's some Shovel Knight tomorrow afternoon. 12:30 Eastern. I'm guessing that race is still there. Feasel can correct me when I'm wrong. Like you mentioned, there's some Mega Man X2. There's some Final Fantasy 1 tomorrow night as well. So
Nice.
follow the runners, follow Speed Gaming for great speedrunning tournament action. And thanks again to everybody in the race tonight. I guess that's a wrap. If you any more thoughts?
No, I think I'm all thought out.
Oh.
I think that's it from Mr. Commentary.
Oh, okay then. So, congrats to Triwave for the win. We'll see Jveth a couple more times in this tournament. Don't forget to follow both of them. They're out there in chat. I believe their names are exactly as you see on the screen right now. Thanks, Mr. Sweet, for the Mr. Commentary.
Same to you.
And shoutouts again to the Sleepless Wonder Feasel for running tech. And I think Richard was running the Robot Masters for us. Thanks. I guess that's it from Speed Gaming, everybody. Have a good night.